Depends in the park a lot. Yeah. People, I'm sure they're being advised. If they don't follow their advice, what can I say? No one regulates the park. There is no, brother, my friend. There is no such thing as an Islamic Dawah team in Speaker's Corner, like some of the Christian preachers are trying to prove. There is no Islamic Dawah team because there is no organized team that you are a member of Islamic Dawah team. I can see why your hatred comes in. Why? There is not.
You see how he claims
Okay.
I don't care.
When you say Islamic Dawah team, okay.
He makes it.
Excuse me. Islamic Dawah team means Islamic missionary teams, right? Fine. What is this team?
But you and us people are giving dawah.
One moment.
Would you admit that?
Excuse me, one moment.
Would you admit it though?
Please. The so-called Islamic Dawah team Speaker's Corner. What is that team? Who are the members? Is there an organization? Do they have an appointed person who oversees, like a chair? Do they meet regularly? Do they have training sessions, teaching sessions? Okay, where is it?
In the mosques.
Which mosque?
Hanwell.
Yes. And who are the members of the Islamic Dawah team?
Look, this is semantics.
No, it's not
because
semantics.
You know that I'm not in the mosques to know the names.
Who are the members?
But you know this. But you know. And
Am I a member of that Dawah team?
When I speak to people who've come, say from
excuse me.
and they
Am
ask
I a
the
member?
same question.
Am I
the same questions?
Am I a member of that Islamic Dawah team?
They've all come and they've been told which questions.
Excuse me.
All of them.
Excuse
from
me.
different countries around the world.
My friend.
It's organised.
My friend.
This
is Sheikh Muhammad.
You've been saying things correctly.
One moment.
And I respected you for
One
it.
moment,
but when
my friend.
you lie, you've got to stop. And I will challenge you on your lie.
Okay. Am I a member of that Islamic Dawah team?
Yes.
So, I don't even know where Hanwell is. So do I go to that mosque?
Plenty of mosques. You see, this is where the diversion.
Did you not say that?
You see?
Okay. Are you a member of the Islamic Dawah team from Hanwell?
Yes.
Because he just
No, not Hanwell. I don't know.
Exactly. So now, do you see the problem?
Diversion.
There is.
Instead of answering.
Yeah, but there's the Islamic Dawah team.
Okay.
In Hyde Park. I'm a member of Islamic Dawah team of the Hyde Park here.
What's your organization called? It's not called Islamic Dawah team, is it?
No.
Right.
We don't
But
call it the Dawah team.
what we're talking about, Sheikh,
Yeah.
there is this missionary Christians.
Nothing wrong with it.
Listen, I will tell you what's wrong.
Hold on a second. Just listen.
I will tell you what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Christian missionary team here,
Yeah.
in particular, they go about conversing with people, and allow me to make a point, it's quite important.
Yeah.
Conversing with people, and they say, Islamic Dawah team and saying this, and people look at these videos, and guess what? This guy has no knowledge of Islam and talking about it, and they're representing.
I'm going to answer why.
They're representing.
No.
Hang on.
I'm going to answer.
They are
hang
on a second.
Because
they are representing.
Come up to the
Islam.
Christians and they say to the
Hold on a
Christians,
second.
"How much have you been paid? You've been paid." You see, he always gives one side of it.
Hang on.
You're the provocateur. You provoke.
Hold on a second.
Right.
Well, let's hear his side. And let's
Yes, but he won't give me a chance.
No, he will.
You will have your chance.
No, hold on. You will have
I would fall asleep.
You will have your own time.
Maybe not as a team.
Yeah, of course. Like I'm doing it right now.
Okay, so would you then say,
So
if your friend was also giving down somewhere else,
One
would
moment.
you say that was a collective?
One moment.
Would you say it was a collective?
Just one moment.
Okay.
To give dawah, you have to have the etiquettes of giving dawah and the knowledge of giving dawah. Is that right?
For me, I wouldn't know who was and who wasn't.
Yeah,
People-
we appreciate that. That's why. That's why we are here.
But when we say dawah team on this context, what it means is
we are
if
here.
you've got multiple people all giving dawah and they've come together.
fact
No, but
is-
we are not linked together. That's one of the things you need to understand. Not every dawah team is linked to the other one. That's you need to know.
But you would agree that
We
these
are,
groups
Sheikh,
are-
we are talking about certain individuals coming here with no knowledge of Islam,
Absolutely.
not even the basic etiquettes. They're using the F language, the vulgarity in the languages. Nothing.
Then they go and pray.
Wait.
They go and pray.
Wait. Let me finish.
The
They are not
they're-
part of any Islamic Dawah team. They're simply coming here
Nothing
in
wrong
the
with
park.
Dawah team.
There
We're not
is.
saying
that.
Hang on. Let me make my point.
that.
What I'm saying is this: when you make like, oh, the Muslims are killing everyone in the world, and then you say, which ones? Oh, wait.
Again.
Can I not make my point? Can I not make my point?
But that's
Thank
going
you.
way up what I was
Listen. First, You
with
make
these videos
please.
will almost come across as I've said something about that.
No, you're not. I am saying there are.
I was talking about scriptures, interpretation, and
but can I?
You know what's his idea? His idea. The problem is you will find certain individuals.
Well, I'm talking about scriptures. He said about killing people.
No, hold on a second. There are certain individuals. Hold on a second. There are certain individuals who act, and they act, for example, they're Muslims.
But this conversation is
hold on a second. There are certain individuals, they are Muslims, but what they do certain acts which Islam has nothing to do with it, firstly. And not just that, the da'wah has nothing to do with it. And then they come representing there, we are du'at, we are people of da'wah. Now what's the problem? We know that, it's a holy call. The da'wah is a holy call to Allah. Yeah. That's what we do. Which means, and Allah said to us in the Quran, what is it? Allah said in the Quran, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمِنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. Allah said in the Quran clearly, this is my way, yeah? This is my way, the way of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, yeah? أدعو إلى الله. I call to Allah Azza wa Jal upon knowledge, upon wisdom, upon understanding, upon enlightenment. Myself and the people who follows me. Meaning that no anyone come to talk about Islam, he understands what Islam is about. We found here in this park, one day I came to someone, he doesn't know any basic things of Islam. And he is one of the speakers. There is a lot. That's why we came together, the brothers here in the park, we came together, we said, you know what? We need to be certain people, when the people they wanted to learn and to understand.
That's a good idea.
Yeah? For the people to know, hold on a second. The people want to understand there are certain, individual here in the park that at least you could refer to. For example, our brother
that was a team then?
It's a teamwork, but not we're not kind of organized, it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. At the end of the day, there's teamwork.
So some people say it's our team, you say it's a group.
So to finish the point then, Jazakallah khairan Sheikh, this is an excellent point that you made. When we find certain people saying, as I said, in particular Christian missionaries, they will say, Islamic Dawah team has done this and that. What they're doing is the same thing they're doing. You make someone can I make my point, please? I just raising a particular issue.
I know, but that's
not to you. So now we are discussing this because the gentleman here accused me of lying, didn't he?
Because you said there's no dawah team.
Yeah.
Now it's
said
there is.
No.
I said.
Please. Look, it's not that.
See, you're not letting me make my point.
It's not important. But there is teams of people coming here.
It's a teamwork.
Yes.
It's teamwork.
And you love your Arabic learning, so it's a dawah team.
But all Muslims are teams.
There's nothing
Sheikh,
wrong with
the point.
it. Don't deny it.
All Muslims are teams.
Yes, but Sheikh, I'm referring to something different.
Still, we are until now.
Something different. I'm referring to something different. What I'm referring to is this.
Nothing wrong, but don't.
What I'm referring to is this.
We have there is nothing we are shy, but again we are saying to you,
I'm not saying it's a wrong thing.
Listen, we are not kind of the organized people that we think. We're not like that. At the end of the day, what we do every single Sunday, we meet, we go have dinner together, we discuss what happened with us in the day.
It's a good thing.
Simple as that. There is no kind of organized people or an organized system, or there is nothing of that. You need to know this. You need to know this, and that's something which means if you meant that is an organization called the Dawah team, there is no
good
at all.
Yes.
That's something that you need
to add, to finish my point on this, there is this demonizing, labeling tactic.
Again,
you are interrupting me again.
Demonizing, because you use such words.
Excuse me.
That it's always against everybody else.
Are you going to let me speak or what?
Are you going to let me speak? Words. I'm trying to be kind.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you.
You're saying demonizing.
I'm not talking about you.
No.
You see?
The problem is, we were talking about.
Do you see the problem?
I do.
I'm trying to finish my point for the last 15-20 minutes. Yes, thank you very much.
But why?
As I'm saying, there are this labeling thing happening in the park for a particular reason. The labeling is done by a particular group or groups, say, these are Muslims. And what are they doing is this. Instead of now discussing with knowledgeable Muslims in the park, discussing issues which requires knowledge, they're going to people who have no knowledge, even by their own admission. Because they've come here, as you said, for whatever reason, fame or whatever. And then they try to represent saying, this is the Islamic Dawah team when it's not. Because it is not the failure of the Islamic Dawah team to simply prove a point. It is the labeling of, excuse me, please, be patient. It is the labeling of those particular groups and say, these people now say like, we want to establish,
Khilafah.
the Khilafah on London, and we highlight the importance of ISIS and Sheikh
But that's
Baghdadi.
nothing what we talk
Excuse me,
about.
would you let me finish?
You'll find people, listen.
Yeah? No, would you let me finish?
There are people here.
We
Are you
talk-
going to
I
give
know,
them
but that's
the-
not our
excuse me,
conversation.
Are you going to give
Yes.
them the opportunity to
Which I was.
respond?
Thank you.
That's not
Are
the
you
conversation
are
we
going to
had.
give you
Yes.
Now,
the opportunity
he's
to
saying
respond?
there
Keep
are
quiet
people
and
who
let
comes
them
to the park
Yeah, but this is
and
our
they say
conversation,
such
not
things.
theirs.
No.
They say such things. And what happened? Certain groups or certain group, they will go and highlight them. They said, look at the members of the Dawah
I say
team.
one sentence?
Those are the
But
ones.
can you let me finish first?
All right,
Can I just say one
Yeah,
sentence?
one sentence, go ahead.
Can I just say
Okay, one sentence, then I finish.
Okay, now it's your turn. Now you
Just one sentence.
Go ahead.
The conversation was about scripture. It was about interpretation of what the sentences mean
Okay.
and stuff to take out of context.
Yes.
And so far, that's all I talked about.
Thank you.
Now you've gone to terrorists.
Thank you.
You've gone to
you know
Dawah
why?
teams.
Thank you.
That's not our conversation.
But the gentleman accused me.
Shall we go back
So,
to the conversation?
I'm
Let's
saying
end up. Let's
this
end up.
Thank you.
conversation
You know,
Okay.
let's end up.
nothing to do
Let's
with
end
what
up
you
this.
just
Can I finish my point before I end
But
up
on
to the
video, that looked like
Yeah, yeah.
we're talking about
Sure,
that,
sure.
and we're not.
But because we raised it, at least allow me to finish my point and then we'll move on. Yeah, very good.
But
Thank
you
you.
agree that was not what we were talking
It wasn't your conversation. So what I was saying is there's this labeling happening, saying, "Oh, these people are Islamic Dawah team."
Again, that's
What-
the difference. I'll have to go.
Do you not? Do you want me to finish my point?
Let's go back. Let's go back to the conversation.
I wanted to finish my point.
Him calling us missionaries is okay.
I didn't call you a missionary.
We're going back.
I'm asking
We're
questions.
going back. Ask that question.
I've never mentioned reality.
Can we?
I've never mentioned
Can we
terrorism.
resume?
So you're gonna leave?
With all my respect, can we resume the
Can we
conversation?
get back to conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's
Nothing
resume the
about
conversation.
anything.
What was the last point that it was discussed?
Okay. So the discussion we were having, understanding the text within the context. So what was?
Would you like to know what I said?
What I was?
Can he say what you
Please,
were
so that we
saying?
can
Yeah,
know what
remind
we're
us
doing.
remind us what you
Okay, remind us what you were saying.
The basis of what I was talking about
Yes.
had nothing to do with anything what we just talked about. It went way over.
All right, what was it?
Okay, let's go
Basis
back to
was,
the
the
point.
basic was this. Looking at the interpretation of some of the comments that we take out of context,
Yes.
because we can't read Arabic.
Yeah.
My theory was, is there one place I can go to read in the right context? And what I mean by that is, 1400 years we're still going to scholars to say what that sentence means. Surely by now, because I hear it all the
okay,
time.
yeah, fine.
So if there's a book that is world renowned that says this is what it means. Now I understand there's certain letters and words that can't be translated, but there must be a word that we can fit in there so we can actually read it in the context it's meant to be. Because what I sometimes hear is I ask a question or someone else asks a question and we get the
Can you give me example? Because here you're
Thank
talking
you.
about a whole book. Yeah, let's specify it. This from the other side. Yeah, let's specify it because here you generalize.
I'm gonna have to get my phone in for now again.
What we want, we want you to give us example. This example, in order for us to understand where you're coming from. So at least when you have example, so you cannot generalize. You need to know.
Yeah.
Does anyone who opens the Quran, does he get the understanding what is supposed to be understood or not? Yeah. So let me just make it simple for you. The Quran is divided into 3 parts.
He's going to.
The first part is about oneness.
He's going to go in a few minutes. So I'm gonna
About oneness God, worshipping the God alone with no partner. Simple as that. It's called Tawheed. The second category in the Quran, the second part of the Quran, is about ruling, do and not to do. That's generally what it is. The third part of the Quran is about the stories of the people before and the people who's going to come after. Simple as that. The story of Adam, the story of Moses, the story of Jesus, peace be upon all of them. And then as well what's going to happen before the day of resurrection or the day of resurrection or in paradise. So this is what generally it is. This is the Quran as a whole. Now you cannot say, the Quran, we need to know all of these things. These are normal things that any Muslim knows. Now here, give me your example that you say, this is a confusion. That's why Allah told us in the Quran, the things that you don't understand, it's not the whole Quran, the things that you don't understand, it doesn't make sense to you, you don't need to make sense to you. That's why we say to you, and Allah told you, or Allah told us in the Quran, to go and to go to the scholars and to learn from them. Simple as that.
Okay, I'll give you an example. If I was just saying the dawah, so if I had dawah off somebody, and I listened to everything he said and agreed with it. For example, I know you spoke to someone a couple of weeks ago and said what he was saying was wrong. The stuff he was saying was not right. I remember seeing it. So the point was, if I'd have listened to that one person, say Modine for example, if I listened to what he was saying, I know it's stupid.
The problem.
I know it's stupid, but what I'm saying is,
I'm not saying it's stupid.
I don't know that. So if I would accepted what he had said, I would have gone, yeah, you know what, that makes really sense. But then when I watched a conversation afterwards, Shamsi basically said everything he said was wrong. So my point was, I would have accepted something on the false promise. So the point was, where could somebody like me go, or anybody else, that says this person or this person? Because what I find is, when you get to the point and have a decent conversation, and you talk about, I'll have to get some next time, sentences, they say, I'm not qualified enough to explain what that means. I'll have to go and see a scholar. Now my point is this, if after 1400 years you're still having people having to do that, it's difficult for anyone to actually understand it, never mind me, amongst yourselves, because you're still having to go to scholars. Now someone was saying about training on surgery, but you go to a teacher to a certain stage, then after that you don't need to go to the teacher. But no matter who we speak to,
I got your point now. I got your point.
Right.
No, brother
that's
Mansur,
what we were talking about.
No, brother Mansur, he was in the conversation and everything.
Yes.
So that's his fair.
Right. So
that was the basis.
So as I said, we need to know who we're talking to. If you want to learn about how an operation should be done on your kidneys, and you speak to someone who doesn't know where the kidney is located, you'll be wasting your time.
We don't know that in the park.
Please.
So who do we speak to? Do I speak to you?
Tell me when you're finished, then I can continue. Okay, thank you. So, what we're establishing here, whenever or wherever it may be, you want to learn about Islam, for example, whoever you may be having discussion with, the discussion should be based on what? These principles of someone who has knowledge to explain it and the etiquette to explain it in a nice way, right?
Yeah.
So, if you have spoken to someone about surgery, I'm going to bring this example to establish a principle.
Do you know why he's using the surgeon? Because for us, our religion, more important than our health, more important than our body, more important than everything. Yeah. So that's why if you wanted to ask about something, about your body, things as important about your, like your health, you will go to the most expert person in that area. Similarly in Islam, we do the same thing.
But that's even to explain the sentence.
Okay, no, not about sentence. So if you want to learn about, you want to have an operation where in your bladder or somewhere or kidney, right? And the person doesn't even know where it's located, and the person then suggests to you, I know what, open an incision here and take things out, and that's your kidney. It's going to have a detrimental effect in your life, right? So you have to know who you're speaking with. So when somebody answers the phone and you ring someone, okay, I need this advice. It could be when you rang the hospital, for example, it's the cleaner, no one was answering. He was answering on the phone on the cleaner, and you're saying, by the way, doctor, I want this and I want that happening. Excuse me.
His question was very simple.
Excuse me.
No, because you go on so long.
Do you know why he's interrupting me again?
I'm going to answer it because it's a
I am
simple
not asking
question.
you. I'm speaking to this gentleman.
We're asking a simple
We are having the conversation.
Can
you ask him to
the
just
simple
be
question
quiet kindly?
is, why after 1400 years
can you ask him to keep quiet kindly,
not
please?
Made the Quran acceptable and
that's
that's all you're asking.
So now, as I was saying, people, as you can see, hang on, you've come to the wrong conversation. I'm speaking to the gentleman. If you don't like it, find another conversation. You're free.
Well, I'm
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So now what I'm saying is this. Whenever you speak to someone in whatever need,
the irony and the insult. No,
do you see the problem?
He's always accusing others.
Right. In general, whoever we are speaking with and speaking to about anything, we need to know what we are speaking, who we're speaking with. Because if I want an opinion,
you haven't answered his question, my friend.
You are interrupting me rudely.
Because you don't answer his question. It's
I'm not talking to you.
Question.
I'm not talking to you.
He's trying to be polite. He's asked you a simple
You're very rude. You're very rude.
A simple question. You've made it into a eulogy.
Listen, can I say something?
Why don't you ask him?
Listen.
I know.
By the way,
listen.
is he asking me this? Is he with the Christian Christian missionary.
I don't know him.
Yes, he was.
Is it? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Hold on a second. He is an adult person. He's a mature person.
I don't know.
But he's polite.
Hold on a
He's
second.
being polite.
Yeah, if he's that doesn't make him less important. It makes
And
him,
that's why I'm saying
in my
to
eyes, the
speak up.
one who's
He
more
asked
polite.
a simple
I respect
question, my friend.
everyone who's watching
Yeah,
now.
but he asked
Can I
a
say
simple
something? Can I say
question,
something?
and he's given a
Listen,
eulogy.
I will tell
You
you
could have
something.
written a 3-volume
You know
book
what?
about
I
it,
will tell you
and he
something.
hasn't answered the
Hold on.
question.
Okay, hold on a
To
second.
be honest, nobody's answered it.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you only allow me.
Simple
So
question.
as I said, now in concise ways. After 1400 years, the information is there, quite easy to understand for those who want to understand. If our hearts are crooked, and if we read a straightforward text, we'd never understand that text, even though it's blatantly clear.
Even after all this time.
Allow me to finish?
So you don't need to.
If you allow me to finish? So our heart needs to be open, unbiased, to understand the clear text. The Quran has been translated in English translation clearly. I've given you 2 translations out of 40 that I know of. If you have any confusion,
Come back.
you can consult all of them if you wish.
Yeah.
Even after that, if you have confusions, you can speak to people to clarify. But the reason why I'm making an understanding through principle is this. When you spoke to people in the park, this is precisely my point. There are people representing to be Christians when they know nothing about Christianity. I'm not going to say, this is what the Bible teaches.